Some former Temple Owl football players are happy to have found work after leaving the Cherry and White. Eric Pellini now joins us in the newsroom with some information on Owls at the next level. Eric.
Thanks, Dan. 2 weeks ago, I spoke with former Owl middle linebacker Alex Joseph during the Central Michigan game. Then, he was unemployed supporting his alma mater. Earlier this morning, his Facebook status, right behind me, read something a little different. Hello, Cali. Joseph, number 4, was signed to the Oakland Raiders practice squad. Joseph had been idle after the Packers cut him before the start of the regular season, even though he played in the final 2 preseason games after recovering from a quad injury. Joseph's best friend and former teammate Dominique Harris, number 6, was added to the Bills' 53-man roster, but then cut for O-line depth and picked up by the Bills' practice squad. Harris had a nice camp with 11 preseason tackles. Number 2, Andre Neblett, was only the 4th undrafted free agent to make the Carolina Panthers' 53-man roster. Neblett is the 5th defensive tackle on the roster and saw action in the 2nd regular season game versus the Buccaneers. Neblett also said it started every game as an Owl. Number 86, Steve Maneri, has made the move from tight end in college to offensive tackle in the NFL. He was cut from the Patriots' 53-man roster after being inactive for the first 3 games, but Maneri was signed to the practice squad. Offensive tackle Devin Tyler, number 73, most recently signed to the Ravens practice squad, but was let go and remains a free agent. And finally, Brian Sanford remains with the Browns after spending his entire summer there. He's on Cleveland's practice squad as well. And before I toss back to Dan and Joe, Terrence Knighton recorded one and a half sacks against the Eagles this weekend. Guys.
Thank you, Eric. This year, the women's softball team is playing with a heavy heart. Back in July, former outfielder Shantae Playdell died in a car accident while serving for the United States Marine Corps. A memorial service was held where Shantae's family and teammates came together to say goodbye. Updates' Matt Cohen was there.
Memorial, but sprinkled in with more laughter than one might think. The 60 or so who gathered to remember Shantae Playdell came to celebrate her life and offer a way for people to comfort one another.
Well, I think it's good for everyone to be able to come out and share their experiences with Shantae. You know, I mean, if you really know her, you know she was a really good-hearted person. And I think it was really important for the people here to be able to convey that to her parent, to her mother and her family.
But it's not easy to hold back the tears, especially when you lose a daughter. Shantae's mother, Kim, talked about how much Shantae loved softball and what her teammates and at Temple meant to her.
She loved this place. She loved Philly. She loved coming here. Even when she finished school, she wanted to come back. And she would go into the recruiting office and drive all of you guys crazy.
I would never guess after meeting Shantae my freshman year that we would become best friends. She was really intimidating to me because of her intensity, but I learned that she has the heart of gold.
Shantae was serving in the Marines at the time of her death, which for some just added to the long list of her accomplishments.
I look at her and I see that she graduated, became a woman, became a hero, served her country proudly.
Everyone who talked about Shantae talked about how she never quit at anything, whether it was school, softball, or the Marines. Everyone was in agreement that she could do it all, and everyone was in agreement that she was taken far too soon. At the Leah Center, I'm Matt Cohen for Owlsports Update.
Because there are so many varsity sports going on in the fall at Temple, unfortunately, we don't get the opportunity to recognize all of them equally. That's why every week we have a segment called In the Nest, where we spotlight other teams making news.
And let's go to it, where the women's volleyball team split this week, dropping a 3-0 decision to the Fordham Rams. But then the Owls soon got their rhythm back by defeating city rival LaSalle 3-0 behind Rika Trischuk's 32 assists. Unlike their male counterparts, the women's soccer team found success defeating Wagner 2-0. The Owls were led from junior Nikki Kahn, who netted her team-leading 6th goal, and Kate Yurkovich's game-winning tally in the 54th minute. The Cherry and White are now 5-5 on the season.
Finally, the Temple field hockey team continued to struggle this week with 2 losses. One to 15th ranked American 4-3. The Owls also lost to Ryder 3-0. Temple has lost 6 straight after opening the season with 4 straight victories.
Well, that's all for this edition of Owlsports Update. Be sure to follow us online at owlsports.com TUTV, and YouTube.com/Owlsports.
For Joe Polinsky, as always, I'm Dan Koob. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.